Welcome to Module 3, where we shall be learning about links, images, and media. If you're excited about this, join me and let us dive right in. On my VS Code, I have created a file called index.html. Then I have a simple HTML document pasted in, and it only has a H1 or a heading 1 tag with the words links, images, and media. The way we link documents is by using what we refer to as an anchor tag. And the way we define it is just with an A. Then we have href. So the href is what links to an external document, then the word that describes the link. Let us just save that. And you can see that on my right hand, we have created a link that takes us to google.com. So if I click that link, you can see that we load google.com. Let us go back. So this is what we refer to as an external link, but we are also able to link files within the same folder or the same folder that we are working on. And the way we do that is by using a relative path. A good example is I have already created a file called about.html, and I can just come in, let me collapse that, and type about.html. Maybe click here and say go to about. And if I click on it, I am taken to the about page, HTML page. And it also has a link called back home. Let us just open it on a separate tab. Back home. Something important to note at this point is on the about page, the href is not referring to any specific page, but I've just included a slash. This is because by default on servers, index.html is usually the first file that is loaded. If I come and just remove the about.html and then run that, you will see that it will automatically load index.html because that is usually the default file that is loaded at the root of a server. Another thing that is very important is these are what we refer to as relative path. They are relative to the working folder. And the example that we started with of google.com, that is what we refer to as an absolute path. It is an absolute link to an absolute location. So that doesn't work with relative paths. We can also be able to make our linkage absolute. So if I come in and copy the URL, in our case it is local, and paste it here, by simply doing that, we have made our link absolute, and it is still working as expected. The only danger of doing this when working within a local environment is if I move my project to a different location, or maybe a server, let's say, that is running on a different port, my links will definitely break, and that becomes a problem. So if I'm working within the same folder, I will just stick to working with a relative path to avoid broken links if I move my project to a different location. One thing that hrefs are used to do is to navigate to a different section within the same document. So here we are linking to an external file, but using a hashtag, then let us say heading 1, and let us just convert this to link and a list. It will make sense in a few minutes. Let us say we have heading 2, heading 3, heading 4. And maybe just change the headings also. can do that really quickly to, oops. We have heading 4, heading 3, and heading 2. Notice that when I click on any of the heading, I'm not taken to a new location. It stays on the same page. So we can take advantage of this feature to link to different sections within the same page. And in our case, if I come in and say heading 2, heading 1, then I have a lot of text. And we can write some lorem ipsum text by just writing in our VS Code. Then close that. Let us add more lorem text. Let us see how many we have. Okay, then we can consequently duplicate that. So we can have heading 2, heading 3, and finally heading 4. And let us save it. And you can see that we are ending up with a very, very long document. So the way to navigate to the different sections, you just click on this and you can see that I'm quickly taken to that heading. If I want to go to maybe heading 3, I am quickly taken to heading 3. Heading 2, taken to heading 2. So that is one way that we can use anchor tags to navigate to different sections of the page. And you have already seen this in action in some of the websites. So maybe just take a look around and see, okay, if this is happening, you can dig under the hood and discover some of the neat little tricks that are being used to link the different sections on a page. In order for us to go deeper into this, let us go look at the documentation just to paint some picture. And remember our favorite link, developer.mozilla.org. And if we look at the documentation, one thing that I want to bring to your attention is attributes. It is becoming super important for you to understand what attributes are. And the first line is this attribute include global attributes. And we obviously know that global attributes are attributes that are common to all HTML elements. These are event handlers and a list of global attributes, which include auto-capitalization, auto-correction, auto-focus, classes, IDs, so on and so forth. But on the anchor tag, we have now other attributes that are specific to the anchor tag. For example, attribution source. But remember, when you see this icon next to that, it means that it is experimental, and basically just stay away from that. It is not yet officially released. We have a download tag, attribute rather. We have a href, which is what we have looked at. And if we just go deeper and into the documentation, you can see that we can use the href link or create a special link to a telephone number, mail, and SMS, and also executable code. So maybe let us just take an example of how we can do this, especially to mail and telephone. Or maybe let us just look at mail. And then the other one that we shall take a look at is also target. This becomes super important. So let us start off with target, then we can look at how to link to a mail. All right. Let us clear our page. Open href and still go to our favorite page, about.html. And you can see that we are able to navigate to the about page and back. The one thing that you will immediately notice is when I click on the About page, it loads the page on the same tab. But by using the target, if I say target blank, for instance, notice what happens. If I click About, it opens a new tab for me. So that is one of the things that we can use target to do, or href. And I am sure you have seen this behavior being used where you click on a link, then it opens a new tab. So this is how they do it. And if we look at the special links, let's just keep that. Let us say I want it to open an email address for me. I can just say href and mail to, and then the email address. Let us just say contact.example, contact@example.com. Then I can just say send us an email. Then we need to go back. I'll comment this out to create some room. And you can see that it has a link to send us an email. And if you click on this link, it will basically open your email address and then pre-fill this email in so that you can be able to compose your email as fast as possible. Experiment on that and see what it does on your computer. It might open up your Gmail account. If you have your emails linked to your maybe email collation application on your computer, it will open that. So yeah, that is all about anchor tags. Go out and read more. So let us look at images and media. So the way we create images on the web page is by using the image tag. And if we just go in and say img, which is the tag that we use, then src for source, then we can just link it to, I have an image already in called dog.jpg. And then we have cute dog as an alternative text. So it is super important for us to include the alt text because of what we have always talked about, and that is screen readers. In case your image is also not able to load, and we can break this link by doing maybe something that is not there, not that. If the image link is broken, at least the alternative text will be there. So it needs to be super descriptive of what the image is. But let us load our image and we can see it has blown up the entire screen. So what can we do? Another attribute that is present on the image tag is the height and width. And I can think we can use, let's say for example, the width and make the image 200 pixels. And voila, we have been able to load our image successfully. So that is how we load images. And we can include the width and also the height. Let's say maybe 400 and see what happens. In my experience, I would rather use one dimensional attribute. For example, I'll either choose width or height, or unless I know the specific ratio, aspect ratio, or the specific aspect ratio of the image, then I can be able to massage these pixels to conform to that aspect ratio. But generally, I'll just use one so that I can maintain the aspect ratio of the image. The final thing that we shall look at is what we refer to as media embeds. For example, if I want to include a video on my web page. How do I do it? And this way we do it, for example, for video, I'll just use what we refer to as the video tag. And you can see that it includes the same width and height attributes, which are global attributes, by the way. And then we have the source. And the source has an src attribute, which will link to the video. So in my case, I've already added in a video, and we can use flower.mp4. And you can see that we have it here. And then other attributes that are very specific to the video tag will be control plus some other more. And if I play that video, you can see that we can see the flower video playing out. And if we quickly jump to our video tag documentation, you can see that we have other attributes that can be included. For example, do you want the video to autoplay after it has been loaded? Do you want to include controls plus some other more? Do you want to loop the video? Do you want it to be muted? These are important, and I will highly recommend that every time you learn something about a new tag, always reference the documentation, because it will give you more information about that specific tag. Another thing that we can also do when it comes to media is also include audio. I don't have an audio file with me, but it is the same as video. You can just copy that. Then instead of video, we change this to audio. And then we have source, and then type. This will become now the audio format. Maybe you can say audio/mp. Yeah, that is for mp3 basically. Then audio.mp3. And you can clearly see that this is how it appears. And I know that this is something that you have seen on the interwebs, on the web, audio players that look like this. This is just a native HTML tag. So if you want to link audio, you can use this tag and it will work as expected. So before we come to the close, I would want to maybe list out some best practices so that we can organize our code better. When we look at the left side, we can see that we are starting to end up with a lot of files at the same level, and most of the files are not even HTML files. So this is where organization becomes super important. And that is why we start introducing folders. For example, I'll go in and say, or create an images folder, and then add everything or all the images into that folder. Move. Then we have the videos. I'll create a separate, or maybe I'll reorganize it even more. I'll say videos and then add the videos into that folder. But to even go in and organize it further, I'll now create a folder called assets. Then move the video and images folder into the assets folder. And you can start to see that it is becoming cleaner. One thing that you'll notice immediately is now my links are broken and I need to go in and fix them. So now when it comes to the dog image, I'll need to refer to the assets folder, images, then dog. For the flowers, assets, videos, and flowers. And we obviously don't have the audio. And if I refresh, you can see that it is working as expected. So organization becomes super important when creating websites. And especially as the number of files grow, you will quickly discover that, hey, by simply moving specific files into specific documents or organizing them in specific documents, it really makes it easy to work with many files. Another thing that you need to do is always test out your links, because as you have seen, by moving some assets into specific or different locations, it breaks links on our page. So always make sure you test out your links before you deploy your project. If you have received value from this video, I know that you love the next one. So click up here to go watch the next video.